This lesson is continuing data and statistics. We're going to start with a box plot. There's a box plot, there it is. You also may know it to be called a box and whisker plot. The first thing that we need to do is put the numbers in numerical order. So I have 13, 13, 23, 24, 27, 27, 30, 30, 34, 34, and 55. So now we're looking at several things. When I'm finding a box plot or creating a box plot, I have this first number here is my minimum. It's going to be the tail of one of the whiskers. And then I have 55 here is my maximum. And now I am going to find my median. Okay, so let's find where the median is. That's the middle number. So here, just covering skip one, skip one, skip one. So the median, there it is. In the middle, 27. This is the median. Did I skip a number? Yeah, I did. There's 23 in here. That's why. That's why it's the median. Okay. And then we have, we're going to find the median of the lower quartile, everything less than the median. What's the middle number here? I have it's split here. So the first or lower quartile, or first, that quarter, those are split into quarters now, is 23. This median was 27. And then again, in between this 30 and 34, this is the third or upper quartile, which is 32. Okay, so from there, using those numbers, I'm going to create this box plot. I'm going to put a dot for each of those numbers. So I'm going to start at 13. There's my dot. My lower quartile is at 23. Put a dot. My median is at 27. Put a dot. My median upper quartile is 32. And my maximum is at 55. So with your three middle dots, my lower quartile, my median, and my upper quartile, I am going to create a box, hence the box plot. And here is my median. That gets a box of itself. And then the whiskers come from those minimum and maximum numbers. Okay. So Johnny's golf scores. Let's see. We have the numbers already in numerical order, so that's nice for us. We also have to find our minimum. We have here. We have our maximum. Our middle number is 83, so there's our median. Our first quartile is split right here. So the average of 75 and 76 is 75.5 is our lower quartile. Split for our upper or our third quartile. The average of 85 and 87 is 86 for our upper quartile. Okay. And then we have to actually create our thing. Here we are. So 74 there. 75.5. Very close. There's the whisker. I have my median, which is at 83. It's the first part of the box. And then 86. And all the way up to my max, which is 99. If you'll remember from 6th grade, the IQR, the interquartile range, is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So we have 86 as our upper minus 75.5. Our interquartile range is 10.5. Okay. Good. And the last example, the temperature highs in Fahrenheit. Actually, you can do this along with the left-hand page. I'll let you finish that one. Let's move on to two-way frequency tables. All right, so example 8. Complete the two-way frequency table to represent the situation below. All right, Jenny surveyed 100 of her classmates on hair and eye color. So there 18 of them were blonde, 9 of them were brunette. This is a total of 28. So I need to determine if this is a total of blue-eyed students, how many of them were red? Well, 18 and 9 is 27, so there was one redhead that had blue eyes. Okay, so brown, 23 of them were brunette, 5 of them were redheaded. I don't know the total yet, so I can't figure out how many blondes there were. So let's move on from there. 31 is the total. I know nothing about these hazels, so I can't quite do that yet. And then down here, my total number altogether was 100 students for the hair and the eye color. 12 of the total were redheaded. 48 of them were brunette. So that leaves, that's 60 of the 100. So this should have been 40 of the total were blonde. Okay? Now I can also find, looking this way, the total. For blue, brown, and hazel eyes, they totaled 100. Well, 31 and 28, that's 59, so that I know that 41 of them had to have brown eyes. And now I can figure out across. 23 plus 5 subtracted from 41. 13 of them had brown eyes and blonde hair. And now I can look at the columns going down. Okay, so 18, 13, what number is missing to add to 40? 9. Here I'm missing 16, had hazel eyes and were brunette. And 5 and 1 is 6, so 6 of them had hazel eyes and red hair. Okay? So now that we have those totals, we're going to look at joint frequency and marginal frequency. Joint frequency. The joint frequency is everything in the table that does not include the totals. So that was the 18, 9, 1, 13, 23, 5. So we're going to list those numbers. 18, 9, 1, 13, 23, 5, 9, 16, and 6. The marginal frequency looks at of the totals. So the totals in each of those categories. 40, 48, 12, 28, 41, and 31. So the next example, the directions got cut off. We're going to create a two-way frequency table For example, 9. In a survey of 100 students, 40% of them said they had a cat. Of the students that had a cat, 60 also had a dog. So of those students that don't have a cat, 80% of them have a dog. That's a lot. So 40% of the 150 looks like 0.4 D, or 0.4, times the 150. So 60 of them had a cat. So that's here the total, this 60. Okay? Now 60% of those who had the cat, how many had a cat? 60. 60% of the 60 is 36. So 36 of them also had a dog. And then we also know that of the students that do not have a cat, 80% of them have the dog. 80% of, well, if 60 of them have a cat, the only other option was no cat. So 80% of the 90 that don't, because 60 of them do, so that means this should be 90 for the total of 150, is 0.80 times the 90, which is 72. So 72 of them do not have a cat, but do have a dog. So that goes right here, 72. And now I can fill out the rest. If there's a total of 60 and I'm missing, and 36 of them have a dog, this should be 24 have a cat but no dog. And same here, who don't have a cat and don't have a dog, 90 minus 72 is 18. And then down here are my totals. Total of kids who don't have a dog is 42. Total that do have a dog, 108. And if I read it across, totals across those rows and down those columns should all add up together. All right, and then quickly, we're just going to look at the vocab and overview for the dot plots, the histograms, the box plot, and the two-way frequency tables. We're going to use a dot plot to display the frequency and distribution. We're going to use a histogram when data values are closely grouped with no outliers. We're going to use the mean to show that center of the data, and standard deviation and it's to show the spread of the data. We also down here have this box plot. Where am I at? The box plot, we're going to use that when the values are spread out. We're going to use the mean. Nope, we're going to use the median. My fault. I'm going to run out of time here. The IQR. I'm going to pause it so that you can get all this written down. So you can pause the video to copy this down. And here is the left-hand page. You can also pause the video to copy that down. The code word for this lesson was said in the first video.